Hello, everybody. I am here in the beautiful Filmmakers Lounge, and I am talking to Christopher Bell. Did I get the name right?
That's it.
That's right. I'm so nervous about getting name wrong. And he is the writer-director of the short film Mohammad So-and-so. It sounds super interesting. So let me ask you a little bit about the film. Can you give us a little synopsis about Mohammad So-and-so?
Sure. It's a guy from the Middle East. Someone appears in his apartment, kicks him out, and then gives him a new one, but he ends up wandering around the city and has a breakdown.
What kind of breakdown?
Mental breakdown?
But what does the mental breakdown involve? Because I've had a few. I think we've all had a few. Like, is he going crazy? Does he have I'm just curious. How bad is the breakdown?
Yeah, I guess he's going crazy. Like all the pressures, the societal pressures, and like being removed from where you live causes him to freak out. I don't want to spoil it, but he freaks out. We'll just say that, yeah.
Okay, now tell me, what inspired you to make this movie?
Well, the title is from something Ridley Scott said, director of Gladiator, how he can't cast people from the Middle East because he can't cast like Mohammad So-and-so for such and such. And I was like, okay, I want to tackle that. And and just the general kind of air of how like people who are brown are treated, but people who are Muslim are treated, people who are from the Middle East are treated, and they're all treated the same. So I kind of wanted to tackle that as well.
Awesome. And how long is your short film?
12 minutes, maybe 11.
Okay.
One of those.
Yeah. And is it shot did you shoot actually in New York City?
I did, yeah, where I, shouldn't have.
Oh,
Like it was.
guerrilla style.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so my final question, actually we have two questions. Tell me what the takeaway of your film is. Like, what would you like the audience to leave thinking or feeling?
Empathy, I guess, and hopefully self-reflection, because the right is pretty bad. The right wing is pretty bad for, what they have said and like kind of stoked for people from the Middle East, or at least people who look like they're from the Middle East. But I think liberals can be bad too, and I hope that there's self-reflection across the board.
Yeah, and I think that that's really important right now, is just general empathy, with technology sort of alienating and isolating us. I think that that's really important. So give us just the date and the time of your next screening so we can all go see Mohammad So-and-so.
It's playing with the feature Fraud at 2:15 Thursday, April 6th, and 8:45 Friday, April 7th.
Yes. Friday, April 7th. Thank you so much for talking to us, and we are so excited to watch your movie. I am here with the super talented, super awesome filmmakers of the feature film Black Petunia. Now, guys, what is your names? Give me your name and what you did on the movie.
Spencer King, writer-director.
Very impressive.
Josh Cowdrey, composer.
All right, so before we get into the film, I want to know how did you guys meet up to collaborate on this project?
Should we give the real story? I guess this is...
I want the real story.
Okay,
Yeah, we like honesty.
Okay, so there's this place in Detroit called Hippieville where a bunch of college kids meet up and not meet up, but it's a place where sometimes you go to smoke things that aren't cigarettes.
Okay.
And I met Josh there. And we hang out like 6 days a week now, so I guess it worked out.
And so you were like, I'm a filmmaker, and then you were like, well, I'm a composer. Like, how did this? I love how the stories of how creative people.
It wasn't even that. It was Josh is friends with my friend Joe Kyles, and I met Joe and Josh at Hippieville, and I first was like, hang out with Joe more, and then one day Josh came over. I was like, oh yeah, I'd met Josh, and we were at my house till like 4 a.m. talking about philosophy and stuff. And I think I mentioned to you, I mean, you can tell. I can't.
Yeah, like we were just at his house, till early hours of the morning, just hanging, talking, and he mentioned the script, and I was like, yo, like just send it to me, like I'm interested. And after I read it, I was like, that's really cool. That's unlike anything I've ever read in my life. And
It could be cool.
yeah, and
That's not what you.
Were you surprised that it was so?
I mean, when I first met Spencer, my very first impression was just like Sean Penn in Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
100%.
Right. And but no, yeah, I mean, he showed me the script, and I was like, wow, like this is great. You know, this dude has talent, and you know, I was like, dude, like if you make this film, you know, I'm a musician of like 10 years. I go to school for music. Like, let me know if you need someone to do music. And he was like, yeah. And so that's just, you know.
I don't think it was that easy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but rest is history.
But I think that that's the best place to like meet people, to collaborate with, just hanging out. And all right, so now let's get to the script. Tell me a little bit about the story without giving it away, because you're all gonna go see it, I know. So let's just hear, give us a little taste.
So it takes place in Detroit, but it's like a dystopian Detroit. It's not acknowledged if this is actually like America, Michigan, or whatever. But it's the government in this world is polluting and controlling people's memories through public water. So this story is about a guy who figures this out, and he tries to combat it, basically.
Interesting. Okay, so I bet that like gave you a lot of material to think creatively. What kind of music did you use? What's the mood? What's your process?
Well, what was interesting was that Spencer allowed me to be on set every day, whereas usually a composer is hired on after the film. So I was able to really get a sense of, you know, what every scene was going to be like, what the characters were like, you know, all that stuff during the entire production. And so I was able to just like really flesh out all the ideas in my head, and the music is very dark. It's very it's very ethereal. I love ambience in music, so there's a lot of that in there, and yeah, that's about it.
That's awesome. I think music is so important. So tell me, what inspired the story, if anything, or did it just pour out of you?
It started with one day I was with my brother actually, and we were chilling at my house, and I was like, what if the government is polluting or like controlling our minds, blah, blah.
They might be.
They very well might be. This could all be a figment of our imagination.
Oh, if this is even real.
But I just started writing after that, and I didn't like, this was weird. This was like one of the first scripts I'd written, and I didn't like storyboard or anything, so I just kind of like would write it, and I'd be like, have to go back a lot of times because I contradict myself and stuff. But the process was get this shit on paper. Yeah. Sorry. Get this on paper, not paper. We don't, who uses paper anymore? Yeah. But on my iPad, yeah. But just get it down and then like flush through it, basically. That was the process. And it was like, it was really fun because I like writing things that are like could not happen, and so this was like, whoa, well, in this world this could happen, so I could like build a world. It's like playing with Legos again, but on your iPad.
That's so interesting, and I think that that's great for all of you young filmmakers to know. Is I think that sometimes people get really in their heads about things, and it's like, just get it out first. Do you think that that was like a helpful?
I think that's a helpful thing in life in general. I have like a lot of I know a lot of people that are like debating what they want to do with life or whatever, and it's like, well, I think about wanting to do this, I want to do this, and it's like, well, go and do it, and if it doesn't work out, then who cares? Go do something else. Like, this is one, like, yeah, writing a script, like, if you haven't written a script before, write a script. Don't plan it out for 6 months and be like, well, just write a script. And then if it doesn't work out, you don't have to tell anyone. Like, it doesn't.
No one's gonna find out. That's
get Final Draft on your iPad. It's like, I think on your computer it's like $100. On your iPad it's $20, one-time payment. Or get Celtex. Start with Celtex actually, because that's free. That's what I did, because I did a couple films in high school, and I would just write them on Celtex, and like, so just write. Yeah, writing's awesome.
Yeah. Writing is awesome. I'm a writer too, so I love it. And I fully agree with you that, like, you know, write now, think later. Okay, so let's talk about the screening. What give me the time and the date of the screening so we can all go and see it.
Okay, it is Wednesday, April 5th is the first one at 8 p.m. and then Saturday, April 8th at 6:45 p.m.
Good time slot.
Yeah.
You guys got some premiere spots. Okay, cool. All right, well, we will see you guys all at the screening. And I think that's so awesome to see some young, fresh talent out there. Cool, guys. Thank you.